Batgirl issue 11, Brian Q. Miller, writing with Lee Garbett and Pierre Perez on the art. So this is the next part in the drowning, the rain, the flood. That's what it's called. I was like, what's the actual word? What's the actual word they use? I was like, it's not drowning, it's not rain.
You're like, you knew it's something's watery.
Yeah, flood. So we start off with Babs in this sort of dreamlike world. She's married to Dick. She's got kids, but her narration immediately is like, something's not right. Like I feel a bit weird about this. That something's not quite going. Something's not in the up and up. Something's off.
Yeah, some nice art kind of beats here. Just like okay, the robins sat outside on the branch. Just there's it's there, it's right there.
My favorite touch in this whole dream sequence is that they've got the Power Rangers color coding rules. Damien's in green, Red Robin Tim is in red, Dick's in a blue shirt, Babs is in a sort of pinky purpley shirt, right?
It's more purple in what she's wearing when she wakes up in.
Yeah.
And the apron's purple, but it's the actual shirt is quite pink.
I think the idea of that though is that she wakes up in purple, but then gets less Batgirl into this like home life of like and there's even the crack that Damien makes about the turkey being a bird of prey.
Yeah. And again, it's just she's like it's not, and it's like it's obviously her brain just trying to give her clues.
Yeah. There's like that moment where she sort of realizes she sort of sees Steph like through the window, or like, and it's like Steph like running in the rain trying to.
And we should point out she is walking here.
Oh, she's walking around. Yeah, she's. So we know it's not real. We know that there's more to this.
Right. There's no attempt at fooling us whatsoever, which I appreciate because sometimes these do, and obviously we always know very quickly that's what this is, and sometimes the book can go too long without making it. When it gets to a point where it goes, aha, see, it's not real, and we're like, we knew this 12 pages ago.
Yeah. I mean,
she feels a bit old.
She immediately knows something's up, and it does this sort of the killing joke kind of. It makes sense if this is her psyche that's something that's around in there. I like that it doesn't dwell on it too much. It's just a little nice end to the scene to give the little jolt of like what's going on. And then we're with Calculator, and he's talking about what he's like. I was just going to kill her, but like I might as well go in and see what secret she's got because she's connected to so many heroes and all this stuff that she's done. Meanwhile, Stephanie is on the run from Man-Bat and also Catwoman, who ends up grappling her up into the they're like the shipping docks with all the big containers and all that. And again, like the narration that Miller gives both Steph and Babs, and obviously here's particularly Steph, is just so good. It's just one of my favorite things about it is just her inner voice, and she's like, "I'm screwed." Someone famous said that. I'm sure someone did at some point. Someone famous had to have said that at some point.
She's probably right.
Yeah, no. And she takes down Catwoman, but then Huntress shows up. He's like, "Oh shit!" Huntress is like, she kills people. This is a bad start. So super fun, and we end up with this kind of, struggled first time kind of alliance because Wendy ends up sort of performing the role of Oracle because she starts talking to Steph over the comms. And it's like, hey, I can try and help you. And Steph feels all awkward because she calls her dad an asshole, or what was it?
Jackass.
Jackass was the exact phrase. And it's okay, he is a jackass, but it still feels kind of awkward. She's like, sorry about the jackass. Like,
it keeps coming back up for like the next 3 or 4 pages.
Yeah, I did particularly enjoy how she gets away from Huntress though. She like dives down a drain and throws some bat bombs behind her, and you see Huntress going flying. I thought the art here was quite good, particularly the sequencing of the action.
Yeah, it's because when she spots the grate, you have it almost zoom in on that in the bottom corner of the page, and then the falling through is a very vertical panel to show that falling. It's really effectively layout, I guess.
And not even just that, that's a vertical panel which is kind of on top of the outside shot of Huntress being blown away from it. And again, the idea that the vertical panel, which is a box, is inside this cramped sewer, and the outside, which is open, is where Huntress has been blown out.
It doesn't have a panel border, just goes to the side of the page.
Yeah, so really smart layouts, I think, throughout the action here. Really good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So Wendy keeps trying to help, and she spots I forgot what they called this.
I don't know. The stupid bike I don't like.
The bike you don't like, yeah. But Man-Bat's down here. They are here is definitely on the cartoony side. I'm assuming this is a Perez page because it feels not necessarily Garbett typically. Because Steph's body does feel a bit more cartoonish, but not in like a sleazy way or a stupid way. I don't think it feels kind of cartoony. Like,
I don't know. I was kind of feeling this was Garbett. This stuff. This felt
oh, maybe you're right.
mostly on point with what the issue had been, or the book had been. I think the stuff in Bab's head is the Perez stuff
Really, I
because that
mean,
looks more
yeah.
different to me.
You're probably right. It was Steph's like body proportions feel a bit more cartoony, and not in a bad way necessarily, but it does feel. I think it's trying to emphasize just how big and gargantuan Man-Bat is. So they've got her kind of feeling like what's something to compare this to in terms of art style or proportions. Like it's reminding me of like I guess cartoon is the best thing to come up with, but like a specific kind of like almost like CG cartoon, like something like Pixar might do, like proportions wise or something like that. I don't know.
They
Uh,
don't look that off to me personally. They don't look that unusual. So I'm not quite sure what you're getting at here, if I'm honest.
Fair enough. I don't, again, this is not a complaint, but it's just the head's rounder, the ankles are really round looking. It's just a bit more, I don't know, accentuated. So then the calculator's inside Bab's head, and he wants to steal information, but she's like, all the books in the library, this virtual or simulated library she's in are all blank. So
Yeah, and coming out of this has one of the best transitions between, especially this is going between artists, but in terms of
mhm.
just the layout and panel and sequencing. Babs dives out the window with the calculator, and it's out of this brightly lit room into just darkness, and they're falling into the darkness, and it's just kind of the glass shards and them that you can see in the light. And then as you turn the page, we cut back to the real world, and it's Steph and Mambat coming out of the sewage pipe, and you can just see the eyes in the blackness, and it's a really smart transition from falling into blackness to falling out of blackness.
No, really smart. I also like there's a little gag at the start of the previous scene, where the calculator can hear Bab's narration, and he says that you think too loudly. So yeah, I've been told I have that problem. It's kind of a running theme that they've been playing jokes with, but obviously in this case it's literal because he's actually in her head.
Yeah.
But I really like that touch. Yeah, Steph's on top of Man Bat. There's lightning in the sky. It feels very sort of fun and very Batman the animated series, cartoony kind of atmospheric. The rain, the thunder, all of it. It builds an atmosphere. It's all really great. Wendy shows up in the Bat Cycle thing.
She lands or tries to land Mamba at the airport because lots of space, that'll do.
Yeah,
useful.
And wheelchairs. She's got a wheelchair there, so she gets her at the Bat bike, and it's like, okay, there's a plane there. You were a Teen Titan, right? It's like, yeah. Did you ever fly the T-Jet? Is it kind of? Well, here we go then.
Stay positive like that, and we just might make it through it.
Yeah, I actually, because the final page is Steph like basically free jumping out of the plane to go to where her calculator is. I love that last page actually. I think the sense of motion, this full page spread of her, and I love the sort of the respirator and the goggles on over the suit. It's a really nice visual, I think.
It is. I actually really like the page before where she suited up the goggles and then just the foot coming up, as she's jumping out.
Again, pacing. It's pacing in the art. Yeah,
all in the pacing. And honestly, good pacing can cover. I mean, it helps that I think Garbutt is actually a very good artist in terms of just the line work anyway. But right pacing in your panel selection can make up for below average line work. It's the storytelling can overcome that if you have the correct pacing.
Yeah. It's kind of like if a movie looks kind of ugly, but the direction and editing is very good. I suppose
you can kind of cover up.
Yeah,
and you like it kind of is like editing actually in that way where
it's a lot like editing.
Cover up a lot with a really good edit.
I mean, the difference, of course, is that in a movie or a TV show, you can do pacing in a single shot with just having the actors move. So comic book art sequencing is covering for both editing and just general movement. It's covering for both.
Yeah, I would almost say it's almost having a good script, right? You if you've got a good script and you can have maybe some weaker cinematography. You can have maybe some spotty actors here or there. But if you've got a really strong script, at that core, you've got that through line direction where it's what it's doing. You can make up for a lot of those other areas, as long as they're not too bad. Obviously, there's a point where it gets beyond
Yeah.
the limit, but you can make up for some shortcomings as long as your core thing is strong. And it's the same here with comic book art, I think, where as long as your core pacing and storytelling structure is really strong, you can have some spotty panels here and there, and it doesn't ruin the flow. It doesn't ruin the atmosphere overall.
Yeah. So I really really saw this issue. That wasn't clear.
Yeah. Probably my favorite issue of this arc.
That may be fair. That may be fair. I think I really like the last one, but I mean they've all been good. So I mean it's hard to.
Yeah.
I think the Flood's kind of the arc where it's okay. We've done all the intro stuff. We've done all the setting up of what Steph's world is. Now it's
tell an actual story.
Yeah. So really good stuff. So there, what are you giving it?
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5 for me too. Can't argue with that.